You've searched it. I know you have. Why am I so tired? It's one of the most Googled health questions on the planet. And every time you get the same answer. Sleep more, put your phone down, drink water. Which, yes, fine, all true. But that's not why you're here. Because you already do those things, and you're still exhausted. So today, I'm going to tell you what's actually happening. And I promise, it's more interesting than you think. Let's start with something that happened about 300,000 years ago. Because the brain you're using right now, the one that's tired, is the same brain your ancient ancestors were using to survive on the savannah. Same hardware. Completely different world. Back then, your ancestors' biggest decisions were simple. Where to find water, what to eat, whether that noise in the bushes was dangerous. Maybe 30 decisions a day. Serious ones, sure. But 30. You know how many decisions the average modern human makes every single day? Researchers estimate around 35,000. 35,000. Before you've even had your morning coffee, your brain has already processed more decisions than your ancestor made in a week. And here's where it gets interesting. Every single one of those decisions, big or small, runs through a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex. It's right here, just behind your forehead. It handles reasoning, judgment, self-control. Everything that makes you a functioning adult. Now, in order to make decisions, your brain uses a chemical messenger called glutamate. It fires signals between neurons, connects different parts of your brain, makes thinking happen. But here's the problem. After every decision, glutamate doesn't fully clear. It lingers. And as you make more and more decisions throughout the day, what to eat, what email to reply to first, whether to cancel that meeting, glutamate builds up. And when it builds up too much, it starts clogging the system. Researchers from the Paris Brain Institute confirmed this. Measurable glutamate accumulation in the prefrontal cortex after hours of demanding mental work. Your brain isn't just tired, it's physically congested. And it gets worse when you're fatigued. The same research found that people with high glutamate buildup made significantly more impulsive decisions, choosing immediate rewards over better long-term options. Which is why at 3 p.m., you're not reaching for a salad. Your prefrontal cortex is congested, your willpower is running on fumes, and your brain is actively steering you toward the path of least resistance. This isn't a character flaw. This is chemistry. Now, there's a second chemical in this story, and this one you've been fighting with every morning of your adult life. It's called adenosine. Think of it as your brain's tiredness signal. It builds up gradually throughout the day, accumulating as a natural indicator that your body needs rest. Under normal conditions, sleep clears it out overnight, and you wake up refreshed. But most of us don't let that happen. Because instead of letting adenosine do its job, we discovered caffeine. And caffeine is brilliant. At first, it works by physically blocking adenosine receptors. Your brain can't receive the tiredness signal, so you don't feel tired. For a few hours, you feel sharp, focused, capable. The problem is, caffeine doesn't actually remove the adenosine. It just blocks the message. The adenosine keeps building in the background while the caffeine holds it at bay. And then the caffeine wears off. And all that pent-up adenosine, hours worth of it, floods your brain at once. That's your afternoon crash. That's why your second coffee makes you feel more tired than before you drank it. You're not fighting tiredness anymore. You're fighting a backlog. And most people's response to the backlog? More caffeine. Which delays the flood again, pushes bedtime later, shortens sleep, and means you wake up tomorrow with the same deficit you had today. So here's the picture so far. Your brain is making 35,000 decisions a day with hardware designed for 30. Glutamate is congesting your prefrontal cortex by mid-morning. Adenosine is building up and being artificially suppressed by caffeine. And then at night, instead of letting the brain clear all of this out, most people do something remarkable. They sit in front of a bright screen, drink another coffee, make another 100 decisions on Netflix, and then wonder why they can't fall asleep. Your brain has a cleaning system. It runs almost exclusively during sleep. It flushes out glutamate. It clears adenosine. It consolidates everything you experienced during the day. But it needs time, enough time, and it needs the right conditions. Low light, low stimulation, declining body temperature. Every hour of sleep you cut, every late night screen session, every 1 a.m. coffee, that's time you're stealing from the only system that actually fixes the problem. So, what do you actually do about this? A few things, and none of them require you to become a different person. First, reduce the number of decisions you make before your brain gets congested. Plan your meals on Sunday. Pick your outfit the night before. Batch your emails instead of checking constantly. Every unnecessary decision you eliminate is one less glutamate buildup your prefrontal cortex has to deal with. Second, Time your caffeine better. Don't drink it the second you wake up. Your cortisol is naturally high in the first hour after waking, and the caffeine largely goes to waste. Wait 60 to 90 minutes. And cut it off at least 6 hours before bed, so the adenosine actually gets a chance to do its job by the time you're trying to sleep. Third, and this one is the most important thing I can tell you, protect your sleep window like it's the most valuable time of your day. Because biologically it is. This is the only time your brain can actually fix itself. You're not tired because you're weak or lazy or broken. You're tired because you're running a 300,000-year-old brain in a world it was never designed for. The brain hasn't changed, the world has. Understanding that gap is the first step to closing it. I'm the Doc. I'll see you in the next one.